yesterday. A two-bit expose of the same old story that I heard yesterday. Yeah, it goes the headlines, man. They all just go to plan. They're framed and fixed and breaking. You know they're all just spam. So buckle down, plug right in. It crawls its way under your skin. Just got out from the things they spout. And it won't make you shout. Give me that good news. Because I'm tired of the same old shit.
Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the grounds with Giles and Jones and Cappuccino.
Yo.
Yeah, yo, yo, it's YOLO. So welcome,
Giles
guys.
Jones and a side of cappuccino. There you go.
Well, actually, now official Pops.
That's right.
It's official. His official naming for being a grandpa, which is
That's right.
awesome stuff, man.
Yeah, that's good. This is the most unique show that the Creator Studios has. So there's Uncle Pete right down there, right under Drew's right elbow. Copy that.
Wait.
Oh,
there you go.
Yeah.
Are you like a news and weather person? Trying at the green screen?
Literally.
Mostly cloudy today with the chance of meatball.
That's right. Anyway, copy that and put that into your web address area, your URL, and come in and be part of this great show. Today, we're talking about try versus doing. And a good shout out to our friends over at Natural Therapy Wellness Center. If you're stressed, they'll help you be blessed. Huge with massage. They've got a house full of massage therapists. When I say house, it's their office. And they can do it all. Deep tissue, Thai yoga, hot stone, sports massage, couples massage, whatever it is that you are needing. And listen, if you haven't, you should.
Yeah, you should treat yourself if you really haven't before.
Yeah.
Just the actual relaxation benefit is insane.
Well, maybe.
You don't think somebody just rubbing on you can actually de-stress you. It's amazing.
Maybe what we do is talk to John, and then one Friday morning we just go, and the four of us, when Steve's here, we do a quad, and they could be giving us a massage while we're talking through the hole in the table. Like,
I love it.
Yeah.
All right.
Check them out at www.mchenrymassage.com, 815-385-8190. Or, and it's $5 Friday over at JH Events and Flowers. Check them out. Love them. If you like flowers, and even if you don't, stop there and get flowers because, well, that's what they do. They do flowers. And hey, also, let's just take a quick second.
216 Creator Studios, your gateway to professional podcasting. Whether you're a seasoned podcaster or just starting, 216 Creator Studios offers state-of-the-art podcast studios designed to meet all your recording needs. From crystal clear audio quality to a comfortable creative space, we've got you covered. With fully equipped rooms, expert support, and flexible booking options, you can focus on what matters most, your content. Join us and bring your voice to life in the best environment for podcast creation. 216 Creator Studios is here to help you create something extraordinary.
Save a ton.
There you go. Absolutely love Mike for doing that. One of the best commercials we have out there. But truly, if you our microphone, your mouth. That's right. I mean, that's
right. Yeah, come
that's
in,
the bottom
talk.
line.
You know what's going on. There's all kinds of different things in this world that people love to do, talk about, like to share. I mean, come on out, share with the people. I mean, that's what it's all about in this world, right? For me and everybody else, sharing, being a human, doing what's going on. Come in and try it out. You may not, you might be an absolute natural. It might be the
don't try.
Oh yeah,
you
like that?
This fucking guy.
see,
this fucking
you
guy.
guys. I was gonna roll that into today's topic. Now you killed me.
You see that?
I'm not gonna try it anymore.
All right,
done.
so this is you wanted to talk about try versus do. Of course, our good friend Yoda. We don't have him in here. He's in. Oh, there he is, right there. We got a little Yoda right there.
I was trying to remember his quote. You remember it?
Yeah. Do or do not.
Is that what it was?
Do or do not. There is no try.
Yeah, I thought there was only do not, or
Yeah.
do not. Yeah.
Anyway, you get the gist. So you're saying try versus doing. There's something going on. What is it that spurred that?
Well, I mean, when just talking with people, right? Hanging out, what's going on, you're in general conversation with people and what's happening, what you're doing, this, that, and the other, and how things are going. And I've been really more cognizant lately of paying attention to what people are, how people are saying, right? And it really, now your phone this
message,
and I really listening to people that are moving and changing and growing, right, in their careers and their lives and their personal. And I find so many times that a lot of these people that are struggling or are having issues, which we all do, right? But I've been trying to do this. I've been trying to do that. And I look at them and I went and I go, what do you mean trying? Well, I want to get better. I said, well, what are you doing? I said, what was it? Nike said, just do it, right? Don't
shout out to Nike.
Example.
You can send the checks to sixth graders.
Well, perfect example. My son, right? He's dealing with somebody, right? He's trying to get something done, and he needs to make a phone call to talk to them, right? Perfect example. Procrastination. I'll get to it. I'll try to get to him tomorrow, or And I said, no, you will do it now, because otherwise you won't. Because you're not going to try to get to it tomorrow, because then you're going to forget. It's not a priority. You have to make things a priority. I think when the word try is used, it doesn't put that not pressure, but
urgency.
There you go. Urgent. When you say try, I'm going to think about it, right? Even though try says to attempt, right? Trying in my mind sets you up as I'll get to it. Instead of I'm going to do this today, I'm going to try to cut the grass, or I'm going to, whatever it may be. Instead of just doing it, I'm going to cut the grass today. It sets a different mindset in your head. And I've been trying to pay attention to that to me too, and how it works in me. And when I do find myself, when I say trying to do something, because let's face it, we all say it, but I'm not as effective. And that's when I really started paying attention to how people are explaining things to me, right? And if they're in that same mode, right? Like it's almost self-defeating, and we don't even realize we're doing it because we've been doing it for so long.
Well, the perception on either side of that table, right? So if you're going to the gym and you're like, I'm going to try to lose weight, but you go to the gym, do you consider it trying to lose weight, or because you're going, are you doing it? So I think the perception is based upon what you see as third party. And most people say, I'm trying to do this, but when you're watching them, they're actually doing it. If your son needs to make a call to procrastination, that's all that breaks down to be is time management. And, if you schedule on your calendar for that day and you do that day, you're not really trying anymore. You're just doing because you already have it set in stone of when you're going to do it. That's all just considered best practice for a business.
That's ideal.
And make it how the routine will be. But I understand what you're saying. I'm going to try and lose weight. I'm taking all these steps to do so. So do you consider me trying or doing? Because I go to the gym, I diet now, I change my diet, I'm doing all these things. So would you consider me trying or doing?
You're doing, right? So, but you're stating, I'm trying to lose weight. Well, you're not actually trying. You're actually doing it, right? You're stepping up. It's how you're explaining it to me that I'm trying to. No, you're not. You're losing weight. You're doing what you need to do in order to come out with this outcome, right?
So when I look at the scale and my numbers haven't really changed, let's just say that, but I'm still doing,
right?
But I'm still trying,
right,
to do it, right? Or trying to lose or make that goal happen.
Right.
Is it still trying or doing? I think the perception of trying and doing sits on the person of the perception of the third party.
Well, let's see what Don Stevenson said. And good morning, Don. Morning. Best example I have seen is asking someone to try to take this cup from me. They either take it or they don't.
It sounds like a challenge.
Hey, Bob, good morning. Good morning. Trying is putting in effort and intention to do something, while doing is actively working on a task.
Right.
Kent Jones says, yay, the comments are working. Don then follows up and says, you don't try to lose weight. You do things that more than likely will lead to weight loss. And Shayna, good morning,
Good
says,
morning,
you
Shayna.
try until you do.
Ooh, you try until you do. That should almost be part of Yoda too, right?
Shayna might be Yoda.
Shayna might be
I
Yoda.
think so. I think so.
You know, I mean, with your thing though, you're trying. Your intention is there, right? You're trying to do it. You're actually doing it though. You're out actually actively, like they said. You know, until you do it. I think that's the thing. When some people say, I'll use a different example, right? I'm trying to be better. Trying to have better time management, right?
True point, Don. True
Right.
point. Have you ever seen Yoda and Shayna in the same room? With
No.
Oh, hey,
There's a
whoa.
lot of that.
That's-
So if I could interject my scent here, and when
Give
I
us
and
two
I
of
and when
them.
I
Give
say
us two
and
of
when
them.
I say scent, I mean SCNT. Right?
It's a little
You already
gross.
gave us that. Thank
All right.
you.
Yeah.
So
Morning at the grounds.
Yeah, right. We shouldn't call it the
try to me, and we'll talk semantics a lot in this show because that's what it's all about. Try to me is once. Hey, try these green beans. Right? I'm going to do it, but I'm only going to do it once. Right? So I'm going to try it. Right? Try to rebuild a carburetor.
an attempt.
Right.
You're attempting.
Yeah, I'm not going to continually do it, right? I'm trying to lose weight. So when I try to lose weight, I cut back on a cookie for a day and I tried to lose weight. Now, if I am changing my lifestyle to be healthy and clean, that's the difference, right? So to me, when I hear try, it's do it once. Because if you do it, if you try it once, then I'll say, try it again, right? Until you like it and continue to do it and or have mastered the skill, okay? Because when I say the word try, it takes away a lot of commitment. Hey, I'll just try it. Okay. I'm not going to commit, but I'll try it.
It absolutely does. No,
Right?
It does take away. Yeah.
So I don't have to do, I'll give it a try. Give it a try, right? Hey, try this cocaine. Okay. Now I'm doing it. Right? If you understand what I'm saying. So I think in our American society, try means I don't want you to commit. Do it once. If you like it, fine. If not, right?
So when Coach Kent is on the court and they're up against one of the toughest teams, you guys are going to try to beat them. You're only going to do that once.
Yeah, truly.
Because the only time you really fail is when you stop trying.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So once again, I think that perception is really kind of false. And I like how you went with it takes away that sense of commitment because you don't feel so pressured into doing. So you probably have more likely to do
So
what you do. But I still think it sits into a third party perspective.
So in the first round of playoffs this year, we were seeded number 13, and we drew the number 3.
That's gross, Don.
And we drew the number 3 seed. Now,
Love you, Don.
the number 3 seed was Oakton College, and we tried to beat them the first 2 times that we played them, and we did not beat them. So we changed the vocabulary. And I was like, I am, we can, we will, right? So it was like, I would say I am, point to a lady on the team, and she said a woman, a student, an athlete, a friend, a sister, right? And then we can execute, we went through kind of a chant, and then we said, we will beat Oakton. We will beat Oakton. We will beat Oakton. So we stopped trying, and guess what we did in the first round?
It changed your
beat them.
mindset. It changed your
Right.
mindset in those words, right?
Right.
Let's try to beat them. Let's try to be our best. No, let's be our best.
Yeah.
So I mean, in that respect, it can't be try versus do, but it's try. There's no commitment, right?
Yeah.
Okay, why not? Lackadaisical, right? To do, you're committing. You are actually taking the time and energy and
Yeah.
effort to do it, right? And that's why I was saying a lot of people are saying they're trying, and it can obviously change depending on what we're talking about, like trying something new to eat, right? That's a trying. And then you did it, but you do have to try.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That I can agree with.
I'll take a bite.
Right.
I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna commit to the
non-committal,
whole thing.
Right. I'm going to try to lose weight. Well, you're not trying. You're actually doing it. You're doing what needs to be done. You're taking the steps. It might not be effective right yet for different reasons, which you'll have to find out. That's part of the journey, unfortunately. Right. But you're doing it. You're going through the steps, however often that you're doing it. You're not saying I'm going to do it. You're in your mind. You committed to it. Right. If you said, I'm going to try to go to the gym more often, right? Hopefully you do, but you actually just do it, right? You're committing to it. When you say try it, it leaves that open door. It leaves an open door.
I think with all the self-help books, all the gurus, all the seminars, all the this, that, the third is, like Yoda said, you either do or don't do. There's no try. So people stop trying things, right? Oh, I gotta go full ham on this. If I gotta go 100% in. If I don't, then there's no sense in even doing it, right?
Yeah.
People have asked me, hey, you want to go snow skiing? And I'm like, no. And they're like, and then Scott's not the guy who's doing it because he loves to snow ski, right? But I'm like, no, bad knees, bad ankles. I don't need surgery.
Right.
Right?
You know your boundaries.
Right?
I don't even want to try.
Fat
right,
guy
that's a good
on a little ski. But
Where did that manatee come around that tree on those skis?
I thought we were in Michigan. We're in Florida.
So to me, we have left a world of I'm not even going to try. If it's not going to be if it's not going to change my life, it's something I can't put into my life forever. I'm not going to try it. I'm not even going to attempt. Don't want it. So and let me back up to what Shayna says. Shayna says I keep trying to understand people that disagree with my core beliefs. I try to see it through their perspective to better understand my own. Okay, so that means she dips her toe in and tries to figure out, right?
Understand.
She's like,
She's trying to understand. That's something you have to try to do. You're actually doing it though by asking them, like Kent always says, and I might get it wrong, but he's like, help me understand, or can you help me understand why you feel that way? Right? She's trying to do it, but doesn't mean they're going to give her the answer or that it's good. She's going to understand it. And that's where, it does, where the word is used and how it's used is really important. Trying to understand somebody, perfect use of the word.
Yeah.
Trying to win, not a perfect use of the word, right? Because we're going to win. This is what we're going to do. I'm trying to figure something out, proper use of the word, because I don't know it yet, right?
And I may not, to her point is, I'm going to try to understand. I may not fully really want to understand because you're all fucked up. Right. I don't want to venture down that hallway. Right.
Yeah. You don't want to commit to knowing.
No.
Right.
Right. Bob says, indeed, doing, quote unquote, means we are fully committed to making a change.
Right. And that's like with you working out. You made a commitment to change.
Yep.
Right.
Go a little deeper with that for me. It means we're fully committed to making a change. Go a little deeper for that for me, Bob. And then Shana says, words and declarations are more powerful than people realize. The CIA runs psyops around repeated words like safe and effective. Good move, Coach Kent. Thank you. Yeah, it helped me as well.
I'm just trying to get the words go deeper, Bob.
I was kind of waiting there for a second because I kept saying go deeper and then Bob.
Right.
You
go deeper, Bob.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so that's kind of what I was getting at is the word though, but literally sets you up almost not depending on the situation, but like for failure. If I'm going to try to be a better person, well, you really can't try. You just have to do it. If you know what you want to fix or how you want to be,
sure,
right?
Yeah, well, for years,
whatever your definition of a better person is,
you're not committing. I'm going to try to be a better person. Well, you're not committing.
For years and years and years and years and years on this show, I've always said words have meaning.
Yeah,
and we as Americans have gotten away from words having meaning, right? Or we create a new meaning for these words.
Oh God. Yeah.
And so now, innately, it's wired into our brains to understand the meaning of a word. At least us older generation, Gen Xers and older, because we learned vocabulary. We learned, you had to learn that stuff,
right?
But spelling and you don't have to know how to
writing
spell
cursive.
I don't want it to be misconstrued.
So listen, everybody who fucking says write in cursive, stop. It's the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard. It makes no sense. There's no need to fucking write in cursive. Everything's done on a keyboard. So put
hieroglyphics. Let's just go back to that. Might as well just go back to that.
I hate that. They say you want to.
I like old school. If you haven't figured that out yet, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. It's not that. Here's the thing for me is it's not that. And this is how I feel. I could be so wrong.
You are
okay, but thank you.
No,
you know what I mean. But for me, the writing thing. It has to do, it's a hand-eye coordination one, but I firmly believe like it has to do with how controlling up like with your brain when you're doing something. It's like artistry and right. It's not necessarily to convey a message to somebody because you can do it. You can talk and you can type it, but there's just something about how your brain works and putting things together down on paper and how you learn. I mean, could you print? Yes, but like when I write stuff down, I remember it better.
Well, yeah, you're using more senses. It has nothing to do with fucking cursive.
But it's also
right.
But it takes more. It takes a different part of your brain to write a letter in cursive than it does to print it. That's
really?
all I'm saying. This is just
what?
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 It's all right.
No.
Well, I'm not trying to throw you a stone. I just
come up with the proper way to say it because he gets all crazy over here trying to.
Your brain still has to identify.
Right.
Anything you're putting down, if it's squiggles or if it's blocks.
So, all right. Well, just for me, it just seems like
data's data.
Gone away. It just doesn't seem like.
It's
hard to explain. We'll move on, and I'll come back to it.
I used to get in trouble in school because I would never write in cursive. I thought I was dumb. I've printed my whole life. I used to get in trouble.
Right.
And if I were to try cursive, I'd look like a third grader with big loopy things. I just have never done it. I've always printed. Yeah. Always. I'm faster. That's just the way I am.
My mom used to be able to read your personality through your cursive.
Oh, nice. Yeah. She could do
She did one of those. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, on the segment.
So I won't even try cursive.
Yeah.
I'll give you two big middle fingers.
So I don't. So I'm trying not to misconstrue. The word "trying" is not a negative word.
Right.
It's a positive word.
No, it's not a negative word.
Like when you deal with an idiot, you try not to throw him down the stairs.
Well, that's what Shane is saying. I'm trying to understand.
Right. And I totally agree with that.
Depends on what you're talking
about.
I
think doing is the reward for trying.
Oh, yeah.
So when we started this, I was like, it says trying. It sounds almost like a bad word. But it's not.
It's not.
It's not.
No, yeah, it's not a bad word. I'm just the reason I bring it up is because it's how I feel in the context, how it sets you up potentially for failure mentally, right? I'm going to try to do this.
Well, that's
just do it.
Nate.
Right.
Well, it can, but trying can also, depending on who you are as a person, trying could be the positive fashion versus the committed doing.
It can.
And so I think it's one of those things. Some people don't want a solid commit because their follow through is better if they say they're trying or if they utilize those words or that's their best routine.
Yeah. For me, with how I like to use the word trying is like trying new things, trying new food, trying to do this, expand yourself, right? Going out past the normal. And once I'm trying something new, well, now I'm doing it. And then I can also decide, do I like it? Don't like it. Right. I mean, it's stepping outside your comfort zone, so once again, 100% it's in context and conversation.
Correct.
Right. But like I said, when I brought it up, it was talking to people, personally or professionally more so than, trying and, versus doing like, well, you got to change your mindset. We're not going to try to beat them. We're going to beat them.
And it's a simplistic, we're taking something that's so simplistic and it sounds like we're complicating it, but
welcome to the ground.
I was going to say welcome to the ground because but think about it. These are really the small, subtle things in our lives that can really help shape us that we don't even realize, right? By just these small.
Love you, Donnie. Have a good week, man. Thanks for joining.
Oh, hey, Don.
Have
thanks.
fun.
Have
man. We'll see you, bud.
And remember, don't have to wear pants on online meetings. Try it.
I am. Just don't look over.
Shana says censorship is the hill to die on. Cursive is as important as Latin. and should be elected.
I love that. You should
Yep.
not. She's not wrong.
You are true.
ADHD brains move faster than the hand coordination can keep up with. It's pure torture. It is.
Yeah.
100% agree with you.
Yeah.
You should see the way that I keep notes. I keep notes in thought bubbles all over my page, and I
You
know.
put them in thought bubbles.
Yeah. Oh,
Do-
yeah.
Do you prioritize them like one or
No,
put
I just
stars
I'll
next
just-
to them?
I just go wherever for the notes and circle them in their thought bubbles to me because and I could tell you, you could look at it and go, "What in the hell?" I'm like, "Nope, this is the pattern on this one,"
That's
and it's
Only
Right,
for
and
you
then-
to understand.
right.
And you understand it, and that's
Yeah.
good, and that's how you work it. That's what I was
It's
talking
a
about.
brain tree.
Right. I was
Oh,
writing
no,
things down.
That's what they call that, a brain tree.
A
You
brain
know,
It's a sapling.
I have
branches.
I have tried so many different ways to take notes. I'm horrible with it. I'm dyslexic. And now I have the AI thing that you throw on the table and it does all your notes, organizes
Yeah,
it
that's
for you. And I absolutely love it. This is where
do you
people are
talk
like,
to it?
AI. No, you
No, it
just
just says
set
there,
it.
it
And then
just-
as you meet, it'll say, these are the points that Scott brought up through the entire meeting, and it'll bullet point them, and it'll
It's
totally
badass.
So it
organize it.
records it, really?
Yep. And
Oh, that's cool.
otherwise,
Yeah, true.
my notes look like a picture book and a storyline.
Yeah.
People are like, during this meeting in data centers, did you just draw a dog? No, that's not a dog.
That's a deer.
Right.
That's the data
Right.
center and all of its
Right.
appendages.
Right.
Right.
But and here's the thing. That's a good thing. Yours is good because it'll capture everything, right? For someone else will tell you, but for me, I have to write it down. I need to write it down.
Do you ever refer back to your notes?
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay.
I
So
mean-
as long as you remember to look at your notes, that's all you got to remember.
Right. But what I'm saying, but when I write it down,
Sure.
If that's hard,
No,
we
no,
have
no.
a bit of a problem.
But when I write it down, I forget what was said, but it goes to a different part of your brain when you write it
Right,
down.
because you're using more than one.
Right, you're using more than one sense. So for me, then I write it down, but then it's also I can modify it. When I think about things in my head, right, and things change and I don't write it down, it's like, ooh, if I write it down, then I can look how, how it progresses through.
I mean, there's studies, right? There's psychological studies that if you're going into history class and you should have a scent, so let's say it's strawberry chapstick, and you smell the strawberry chapstick every day before you go into history class. When you go to take your test, if you smell that chapstick, you'll recall more and do better on tests.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Because you're
Yeah.
using more senses.
Mm.
Right. And I mean, so writing down does that.
But just like you go in someone's house and you have a smell, right? Like you go into you smell something like great, like takes you back to a kid. I
Dog.
remember when, like that.
cat piss and cigarettes. Nothing says white trash better than that.
Nice.
I thought somebody wrote that. I'm like, what?
That's the scent. You know you're white trash when
I try
all
not
you
to
smell
look.
is cat piss and stale cigarettes.
But you know what I'm saying? You
We're
walk
in the
into
aisle at
someone-
the grocery
you-
store.
It's
The guy in the
amazing,
denim jacket walks by, you're like, damn.
right? It's amazing though. The brain can do that. Just one small, quick scent, and all of a sudden it can take you back
Yep.
years, right? And it's the same. It's the same type of thing.
So yeah, now we're talking about sense and census instead of trying or doing.
Right.
No, I tried to make sense. It just didn't happen.
Hey, stick around, folks.
That's right. It is famous Friday.
Yeah, Bob says handwriting triggers more brain activities, which allows the memory to receive and remember information more effectively.
That's what I was trying to say about learning cursive.
It has nothing to do with cursive. I don't understand that.
Using a different part of your brain.
Right.
But
So we utilize, you either do or don't do. You don't try. Well, I don't believe in that. That's like saying failure is not an option. Yeah, it is.
failure is a big option.
It's a huge option.
You
And
have to decide
sometimes
when that's
sometimes
the option
it's the
exercise.
option. Sometimes that's the option that you should take for the learning and the
Yeah.
education of it.
Correct.
So, once again, we can pick it apart all day.
Yeah.
But if you want to try to, like right now, the studios, we're still trying, but we're doing at the same time. But there's an end goal that we have to try to get, but that end goal never ends. So it's an ongoing goal. So we're always trying.
But,
you know?
So I challenge you for this. Stop using trying. We're doing this. We're not trying to make it bigger. You are making
Why?
it bigger. Well, because it's a
Because-
mindset. You guys just
Yeah, I mean, there's that
here,
piece.
you're
but-
not trying. You're actually doing it, right?
But that's what I do. I try.
understand.
That's how I've been raised. That's my entire life. And why do I need to change that mindset if my success is based on trying?
Crickets.
Right.
No,
Right? I mean,
We'll be
I
back
hear-
after this.
Right.
Right. Roll it on commercial.
Yeah.
Sebastian's in there.
No, and that's what works for you, and you do that, right? And you've proven yourself for what you want to do. And
Right, well,
when a lot of these people that I'm talking about,
yeah, well, that's why I'm saying in my life, try means non-committal. Just give it a try.
Right.
You know what I mean? In your life, there's like, I'm gonna try and keep trying and keep trying. And keep
your
trying.
try is a
I'm not
commitment.
looking to
Never give up.
master it. I'm just gonna keep trying this shit.
Right,
Right. So that's why I'm saying maybe Scott and I would look at you and say, you're actually doing it.
Yeah.
Right? But you're like, no,
Third-
just trying this,
Third
trying that, trying this.
party perspective.
Right.
So, trying to me is the journey.
Hmm.
And doing is the reward. That's how I've always envisioned.
Can you
it.
run a commercial so I can definitely think about that?
Yeah, that's a
There
good
for
one.
second.
I
That's-
see
that's a
I
good
see
one.
steam coming off of.
Well,
Yeah.
because I mean,
Your
and then I'm gonna really have to try to dig a little bit deeper into that.
Go
after
deeper,
the show.
Bob.
Yeah, go deeper. How much deeper? Hey, by the way, Bob, you did not come back with that.
No, he
We
didn't.
need that
He
little
didn't
bit
go
deeper,
deeper.
exciting
I didn't
side,
see
you know.
Kenzo face.
But
so
you
I'm
know what
pretty
I mean?
sure he didn't go
So
deep.
that the do is the reward.
Yeah.
I'm going to try skiing.
You know, Kobe.
So now I'm going to ski and do it. So it's my reward because I tried it and realized I liked it.
Right.
I love
Okay.
man.
Hold on.
Doing the dishes is not a reward.
Yes, it is because the next time you eat, you got something clean.
Yeah,
to eat
got a
off.
clean
That
dish.
is a reward.
100%.
And then your house don't stink or look like a freaking hoarder's house.
That's a mindset in itself.
Sorry,
That's how you
Shana,
think
we
about it.
killed that. We killed that thought.
Third
really
party
quick.
perspective.
Yeah.
Third party. Well, look, Kobe Bryant said it right. The champions, all the days that you got up at 4 a.m, all the times that you worked out 4 or 5 times a day, the injuries, the scars, the end result, right? The championships, all the awards. That's not the goal, right? That's not the goal. Was all that hard work that you put in.
Yep.
Right. If all you do is if you understand that all that hard work, that trying, to what you're saying, is the journey, is the dream, then you're going to get more than you ever dreamed of.
You're
Right.
putting in
I
the
said that poorly, but what he's saying is everybody thinks that the doing is or the end is the why you're doing it. That's the dream. No, it's not. The dream is all the hard work.
That's right.
Right. So that's what you're saying. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Let's see.
Well, or is
Commitment.
all the hard work allowing you to have the dream? All the hard work of him getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning and do the double
Right.
day workouts and all that stuff
So
are allowing him to live the dream because he's doing what he needs in order to make this journey a success, whatever that may be. In Kobe's, it's basketball, right? Running, shooting, whatever. He's doing it every day consistently to get this goal,
Mhm.
right? He's maybe trying to be a better shooter, so he's practicing every day. He's doing it, right? He's not talking about it, right? He's actually putting it into action, right? Which you do too. You're trying to do this, but you're actually putting into action. So
Yep.
it goes past the word trying, right? And that's kind of why I get at the mindset spot.
Bob says commitment to change refers to a person's determination to take actions that they believe are necessary to successfully carry out a change. So I'm getting hung up on the word change. What if I don't want to change? Are you saying that I can't try
Right.
or commit to anything?
Trying. Well, so I mean, yeah, I guess
Right.
trying to change or commitment to change. I mean, trying to change.
I've
right?
got I've got a really good life right now, right? Best that I've ever had it. I've got a beautiful family, healthy, everybody's good. Why do I don't want to commit to change? I don't want to change anything. So why, right? Why would I commit to change then?
Well, he's just saying it's try versus do. When you're trying to do something, you're not committing.
That's a whole different
What
show.
he's saying, doing.
That's right.
Right.
That's a whole
Right.
different
That's a
thing.
whole different show. But what he's saying is, When you're trying, you're not committing. When you're doing, you're committing to that change, whatever that change may be.
I don't know. I guess that's also
I think that's
just a mindset per person on how they believe in that. Like once again,
Right.
Well, I guess what you believe the definition of try.
Try is the journey, doing is rewarded.
No, try says to make an attempt to do
Sure.
something, right?
Sure.
Making an attempt.
Yep.
Right. So I mean,
Yep.
the way the definition is means you're actually.
Well, and Shady even put it up there.
The way the definition comes
Humans
up really
like to
means you're
attempt.
actually doing it.
It's our human nature to attempt.
Right. But I mean,
You know what I mean? We like, if we're going to attempt to touch the hot burning flame,
right?
Because we know it might hurt us, but we're going to attempt to touch it anyway. We attempt things. Otherwise you're like, you just do it. You just touch that flame.
I was going to say you're attempting.
Right.
What's
So
the definition of attempt?
if you, and when it comes to change, once again, also an individual mindset to that. So you don't have to really change is inevitable no matter what you do throughout your life.
Yeah.
Now you either adapt to it or you don't.
Yeah.
Right. And when you want to try to change, to adapt, you're on that journey. And when you've done it, you have changed because no matter what, change is inevitable.
Yeah.
Right. Not everything stays the same. We have a great life.
Yeah.
Something bad punches that right in the face.
Sure.
You have to change and then you have to adapt.
Mhm.
So you're going to attempt it. You're going to attempt that and then put this certain way of doing something. You're going to put your foot in and go, nope, not that way. Let's put it over here instead. You're trying different things in order to make that change.
Right.
So that's your commitment is trying. And then once you're done, your reward is it's done with that change. That's my perception of it.
Yeah, no, that's good perception. It is good.
You are also wired differently than most.
Okay.
No, and that's a good thing. I think
everybody everybody's wired differently than most.
Right. But I mean,
otherwise we would be
but your perception of the word and what it makes you do, right? So I firmly believe the words have meaning and how your brain helps assist you because our brain is meant to keep us safe. Right. Words. Yes, Scott. To me, words have meaning, but actions mean more.
100%.
So if your words match your actions, you're in the right spot.
So that's
right.
Perfect.
You are where you're supposed to be.
Keith, trying is
Smoking
doing
griddle
something.
boy.
Doing is actually an action.
Morning, Keith.
Listen, like, follow, subscribe to the Smoking Griddle Boys out there on the YouTube and Facebook. Good stuff. They
sounds good.
Work with Blackstone a lot. They
nice.
Some good shit. Keith, good to see you, brother. Hopefully the family as well. Miss you, man. Good to see you, man.
Yeah, man.
Nate says when I say I'll try to do that, I'm giving 110% effort every time I quote unquote try. I think of someone going all in on effort when they say I'll try.
I could agree with that.
Yeah. I don't know if I do. I'll try it. Is I'm going to keep one foot out of the grave and one foot in the grave.
Well,
you're giving 110%. I understand where he's coming from. I understand that mindset. Yeah, 110%.
We are mentally ill, Keith. We're trying though.
Hey, quit sharing that with the world.
That's right.
Hell no.
That's why they tune in. They tune in every Friday going, fuck, my life's pretty good.
It's like watching Jerry Springer. You know what I mean? Like, wow, I don't have it so bad.
I've been contemplating why we are so popular. Now you just laid it out perfectly. These guys make me feel like my life is so much better. After listening to these three.
I had a rough week. I got to watch the ground.
Steve, we know you're out there listening, so you're part of this mess too. And Kelsey.
Yeah.
Right.
It's five. Yeah,
I miss both of you guys.
Misfits.
Yeah.
The Misfits, baby.
Yeah. I missed Steve. Didn't even know he was here until I looked over at the chair and it was empty. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to be funny.
No, you just did.
Yeah.
You just were funny.
All right.
No, it wasn't.
Well, that's a perception.
That was funny.
That's a perception thing.
Swing and a miss.
That was funny.
See Drew live.
Well,
everybody needs a cappuccino.
So I'm gonna let's talk to Nate for a second. Nate, so you give 110% effort every time you try, quote unquote. So do you get irritated with someone like me who doesn't give 110% effort when I quote unquote try?
No,
You don't. Doesn't irritate you. Like,
Why
come
would that irritate you?
It only-
Context wise, I mean, I don't care what you do.
If
you
the
don't give
subject was
110%.
if it's we're doing something together and I'm doing the 110% and you're not, it wouldn't irritate me. It would just make me have a conversation with you about what I'm doing versus what you're doing.
Because you were irritated.
No, it's
Why
just
would you have the
communication
conversation?
because it's communication, so we both can reach the same goal. A strategy. I think where he's going with that is he's going to give 110% in trying something based on the data that he has. And then if the data changes, he's going to throw that 110% at trying something else in order to reach that goal. I understand where he's coming from. I can understand where you're coming from and not understanding that, but I understand where he's coming from.
I mean,
because I kind of think the same
I
way.
put into context what he says. Like, if I'm going to try skiing, for example, I'm going to put it 110%, right? If I'm going to try something, because you have to with that.
Right.
I think once again, and it's going to depend on the situation and what you're doing, right?
Person,
But
situation.
right, personal situation, but it does come, and it's a situation what it comes down to. So I'm going to do 110, or I'm going to put in 110% when I'm doing it. Right.
Otherwise,
You know,
skiing, like here, this is cappuccino skiing. I don't ski. I used to snowboard, but even then it was tough.
Yes.
No ski.
No ski.
Getting on a snowboard, I was trying to learn how to snowboard. But every time when you go down the entire bunny hill on your face, you're really not doing it.
You are trying.
You're still trying.
I'll give you.
But I'm giving 110% into it.
Right. You have to, especially when something like that, because that requires a lot of different things going on.
So Nate says, not really. I just believe if I try something, I don't give 110%, then I personally feel like I never actually tried it.
No.
Now that is
See,
a
Nate,
great statement.
Nate and I like the way
he's fully committed, right? If he's going to do something and he's going to try something, he's 110% committed.
So Nate,
love it.
You give 110%. Your son, as he grows and gets older, decides, you know what? I'm just going to try. I'm going to give it 50%. Now, do you have an issue? This is your son. Scott, same thing.
You should give 110%.
I got to think about that for a moment, because but I mean, here's the thing: is how do you judge if your kid is only giving 50%?
I don't know, but parents do.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't know how you quantify that. Like, oh, well, obviously you're going to say that. Well, in your mind, you could justify and make potentially in some way to always say you could do better because you want better. But I can't quantify my son's only giving 50% because I don't know what's going on in his head, what his skill, realistically his skill level is. I know who he is and what he is. I mean, but you know what I'm saying? He could be given 110%, but to me, because I'm a different person,
you see it as 50%.
I see it as 50%, right? As like weak.
I love how you put that. Yep.
Right. So, and that's the thing is sitting back and relaxing.
I don't have a problem with that because I'm not that person. I'm not my kid. My kid might have their own way of doing things, or their definition to it might be different, just as I am wired different, right? They might be just the same. So you can only guide to how you know things for them to try and or do. And if they take that on, great. If not, they are their own person that has to adapt into this world.
Right. So, I mean, so with what you're saying about the kid thing, so let's take example, raking leaves, you're over there, and you ask your kid to help. The kid's like,
how was that kid?
Right.
My kid,
right. But so he's just a kid sitting there.
My kid would get the blower out.
Right. No, I said rake the leaves, but you know what I'm saying? So you're over there,
the neighbor.
You're over there busting ass, you can hear that thing digging the tines, digging in and really tearing it up.
Oh my God. Hello, Moto.
And then you see your kid barely doing it, right? They're not giving 110% because they're not interested in it.
They're not invested in it. Like
they're not invested. Right.
Not there.
So once again, I mean, it's a situation.
Now watch how fast they give interest if it's their lawn or their car. So I guess that
Hopefully.
depends on the situation.
Hopefully.
Well, you would hope so, but you'll see the interest when somebody's interested in something and they measure something. That means that it's important to them.
Correct.
So therefore, what interests you, what you try to do, and give that 100% or 110%. And
Right.
some ask, how do you give 110%? Well, that's giving it your all and then some. That's just a saying. But I once again, person, scenario,
right. But it's from inside. I don't know.
You told
to answer
him
the question.
to rake the leaves.
Right. You're
not interested.
Right. But
Right.
but for me though, also, all right, what's the outcome? The leaves will be gone. If he gets it done, great. So I don't want to say I don't care. I don't care. If you get the job done, for me, when I'm looking to get a job done, I don't necessarily care how it gets done as long as it gets done. Right. And that's for the thing. He's not giving 110%, but hey, it's going to take him longer to do it. That's his choice.
What's the incentive to rake the lawn?
You have a roof over your, head.
Oh, sure. That's how we think.
Squares. Right. No, I right.
Because they've never been in that
Right.
situation to provide that.
Right. Right. And as a kid, I mean, that was always the thing. And
Deidre asks, how does one give 110%?
that's a good question.
You go all in,
But that's 100.
and then you reach out more. It's the same reason why you have 100%, 110% of a lung capacity. You still can get 110%.
So you're able to grow it. You're able to grow it.
Yep.
Right. I guess who says 100% really?
I learned that from taking a pulmonary test.
Well,
I don't know.
I mean,
how'd you do? See?
Not great. Right.
Bob says
I tried.
Your max is your max. She said to give
you
less
can push.
than 100% to an effort. Are you really trying? Yeah, you are.
Hmm.
Yeah,
well,
absolutely.
trying is making the effort,
It's the
or at
journey.
least attempting.
Once again, to me,
Right.
it's the journey.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
You give it your all.
Right. Actually, your we can challenge this to be a whole nother show too, Deidre. But your max is not your max, right?
You can always push
Your
past
max. Your max is the limit that
it. I was going to say the max is your self-limiting belief.
Yeah.
In certain circumstances, obviously, there's certain things that you can't do, past a certain point.
When you
Like,
think you
only
can't
get so
push
big.
harder,
Right.
there's always.
Yeah. Well, you
There's
can
always
limit
1%.
yourself. Right. And
something.
the fact that you say that, cracks me up because she is pushing herself more and more and more every day. She's maxing herself every day. So, okay, your max is your max, but your max could change every day. Right? You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
Nate
So,
says,
and you're doing a great job, babe. I love you. Thanks for tuning in.
Nate says depends on the
Good to see you,
situation,
teacher.
but I plan on always telling my son, if you start something, you finish it. Don't ever half-ass it, right? Because that's what people will remember.
Well, 100%. You can't let you have to make them finish it. Not necessarily.
Mm.
So, and here's the reason. But here's
1955
right.
called.
Well,
They want Scott back.
Well, all right.
Back
So,
in the kitchen, DJ.
yeah. Back in the
Right.
kitchen. Right.
Right.
Well, no.
Where are my
And here's-
martini and slippers?
and the evening paper.
Right. And so, let me just make sure you understand why I say that. Like, if you allow, and this myself included, right? If you attempt a bunch of things and you never finish them, right? Even good, bad, or indifferent, right? And it could be a failure, but to me, it's if I'm going to start something, I'm going to finish it, giving it my 100%. It might not turn out the way I want it, but if I don't, then I feel like I'm cheating myself, and subconsciously that does play. Oh, you didn't do it. You didn't do it. You couldn't finish it with something simple. So if you're going to start something, finish it, and then realize that that's not for me, and move on. Because there's just too many unfinished things in your head that, the what ifs and why didn't I, and I could have, I should have. We don't have that when you do that. Everybody still does it. I mean, we start stuff. We don't do it, but
Nobody really
if you
understands
start
that.
kids- but if you start young, like with your kids, what Nate's talking
Sure.
about, right? Hey, you started doing that. Let's finish it, right? Like my kids, when they were younger, they wanted to try karate, right? You've got to finish. Or my son, baseball, he wanted to try it, right? He didn't want to do anything but play in the dirt. Oh, well, he didn't want to go back. Well, no, you join the team. You have to finish out the year. At the end of the year, that's fine.
Yeah, I don't
you,
do that.
You committed to something, right? And do it. And that just, you have to have that commitment. If you let them get out real too easy, right? And just, nope, Granted, it's situational. I mean, there's certain things you should just let go.
Once again, yep.
Right?
You know,
making sure that your kid's following through is an important lesson.
Well,
I feel in my life.
No, in giving the reasons why following through is important. The education is them half-assing it and then learning from it.
In some respects,
Hands-on,
great.
Mostly all aspects. Unless you really, it happens to you, or you do it wrong, these are all pieces of education. Once again, I think these things have been looked upon as a negative thing for so long. But as a person that I have learned what to do and what not to do by doing and or not doing or not finishing, I saw the end result and what I could have done. And yes, that I could have, would have, that's part of life. And you need to actually feel that in order to understand it, because you can be talked to all day, but they're just words. Ducky, ducky, ducky. You need to experience.
Yep.
And that's why in my belief system, and not everybody believes this, but my experience of the answer to life is you're here to experience it. All of it. Every bit of it, half-assing it, following through every bit and piece. You only visit on the Blueberry, take in what you can and get those experiences, because all the things that we see as a negative are strengthening points to be the character that you want to develop while you're visiting here.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, it's you learn from everything.
Now, as a parent, and I can agree with Nate upon that part, is I want my kids to go from A to Z. I want them to finish it. You like it, you don't like it, try to finish it, do it, right? The thing is the one thing that we keep forgetting as adults is you can't buy time back.
No.
So if you're not interested and you've tried it, it's okay to say, you know what, I'm out. I want to try this instead. Why waste the time on something that you don't want to do? Now, listen, you got to give it some time. I have a rule. You got to give it at least X amount of time for you to adapt to it and really see if that's what you want to do. If it's not, we'll pull you and put you in something else, because why waste the time when we could be structuring ourselves faster and better? It's strategy.
So to me, being happy is better than giving anything 110% and being miserable. This is just Kent out of Kent's lens.
Yeah.
Okay. So for instance, every American male, 100% of every American male has tried to learn how to play guitar. That's true. They've picked it up, they've watched some YouTube, they've done something, because playing the guitar is cool. I realized a long time ago, I don't know anything about music other than I enjoy it.
Yeah.
So I own a ukulele. I've tried to learn how to play the ukulele. I've tried to learn how to play a guitar. Right.
Well, you can play it. It just sounds like two cats fighting in a pillowcase.
You're doing it. It just sounds like shit.
Right.
You know what I mean?
To us.
Yeah. Well, maybe to him too, but let's be real. It might be music to some of theirs.
People would say, well, you half-assed it because you didn't take lessons for a year. You half-assed. Nope. I realized that I truly appreciate music enough to know that I will ruin it.
Right? or that it's just not in your wheelhouse.
And I love watching, listening.
Talent.
It's like magic. It's like sleight of hand to me, because I don't understand how you move your
finger.
Let me ask you.
And it makes a beautiful noise. And I do the same thing, and it sounds like two rabid cats, fighting over.
But did you ever take a lesson, honest, real lessons?
Yeah.
Oh, you did.
Everybody
Okay.
gets in 5th grade. You learn how to pick an instrument, and you do.
Oh,
right.
Yeah. I did saxophone, but not guitar.
So yeah, I took lessons. I looked at YouTube and I took lessons.
Or you looked at you? No, I meant like going to an.
What's the difference?
I feel like
there's not a difference.
I don't know. I feel like personal interaction with the person there and watching their movements live versus over you. This is just me. I'm saying this is how I learn, because I did try the guitar, and I don't have the fingers for it.
That's what you told yourself.
Fingers.
There's a lot of fat, pudgy finger guitar players.
Well, it might so be, right? But it's hard for me the dexterity, right? And I did try. I tried. I did it, and I gave it. I don't know if I gave it 110% because I got, or even 100% because I got frustrated.
You
right?
half-assed
because
it.
you sound right.
You have
I don't know if I half.
And then
I gave
that's
up.
half-assing it.
Well, I gave up.
You
because
gave
it's
up.
like,
You half-assed
right.
it. You didn't follow through all the way to the end. But you know what? You didn't waste time on it because you found something else that you like.
I
If
still
it's building
play-
a car,
I still waste time on it.
So-
I can play that. Dun, 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 dun,
Open
dun,
the
dun.
water.
Everybody can play
my
that
daughter
guitar.
on YouTube started with an instrument
Yeah.
and picked it up from somebody that educated her on YouTube because sometimes even in person, because you know how to play doesn't mean you know how to teach it.
Correct.
And on
Oh,
YouTube,
gotcha.
your network is massive.
Massive.
So you find people that are really good at teaching, and if you pay attention to it, you can learn it.
So
100%.
to me, to me, happiness in life is better than giving 110% for something
Wing
that
it.
I'm
I
going
love
to
it.
be miserable at.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I would rather half-ass it and be happy. Right.
Yeah.
The hard thing with trying versus doing is you're looking at me, Bob, through your lens on what you do, give 100% or 100%, Nate or whoever. And I'm looking at it going, that doesn't suit me. I understand my personality, and I'm not going to give it 110%
You know
until
what-
I
you know what-
absolutely
Why didn't you
know.
finish that 5K?
Right.
Because I fucking
I
hate
couldn't.
running.
Yeah.
Right.
Why'd you join it?
Right. Well, he wanted to
Hey, Ryan,
try.
Why'd you join?
Wanted to try.
Right. Why
Right.
did you try? Gave it a try.
Hey, you know what?
Well, that one-
Halfway through, he stopped at Dunkin' Donuts and said, "Fuck this." You know why he half-assed it? Because he didn't want to waste his time.
Yeah.
He wanted to go
more-
find something else that maybe he would do something better, or
So-
at least be happy
So
doing.
back in the early 2000s, I did a sprint. Right. A sprint is a triathlon. Have a triathlon at Lake in the Hills. They always have it. And so I practiced. I swam a mile at a pool, and when you're swimming a mile in a pool, you get how many strokes while turn. I never did any open water training. And then we jump in the water over here at Lake in the Hills, and you swim a half a mile in that lake, and everything's black and brown and it's gross, and you know
Right.
you know what I mean? And
Things
there's
are
no-
brushing up
It's
against
not
you.
that nice clear
and
water
I-
you're swimming
and
in.
as a young man, I was a lifeguard, so I knew you're good until panic sets in.
That's right.
Out in the water, and so I'm going at my own pace, and then the next round, the next wave of athletes come, and you hear them hit the water. And it sounds like piranhas coming after you. People are hitting you as they're swimming by because I'm going at my pace. So I grab onto a kayak. And I'm like, let these guys go. And then I'm like, I had psyched myself out, right? So I said, okay, just wheel me back. And we have ankle monitors on for time and stuff like that. So they're like, sure. I'm like, yeah, just take me back. I'm not going to finish this. I was about a quarter mile in, right? So I had another quarter mile to go for this half mile swim or mile swim, whatever it was. And so I go back and then I, jump on my bike, and it's a 15-mile bike ride. And I've ridden bikes, trained at 15 miles an hour. So it took me 1 hour to do the 15-mile. And then there was a 5K, and I had trained, about 1K in, I'm like, Jesus, I'm tired. So I walked and then ran, and I walked and then ran. People were running by me, blah, blah, blah. I ended up finishing now. So I look at that, and again, I tried, right? Did I give it 100%? Not, to this day, I'm like, I could have made that swim. But in the paper the next day, the Northwest Herald, I had one of the best water times. Because you just go through the checkpoint, and I got pulled in. So it was
They
like
printed them all.
on my wave, I looked like I swam that mile or half mile, whatever it was, in like 10 minutes.
Yeah. Well, I that's a great story, man, by the way.
Right.
And so very similar to Jack of all trades, master of none. I am that guy because I have tried just about everything, maybe not a master
I think
at
all
it.
entrepreneurs of that.
And I love it, because I didn't want to really deep dive into the one thing. I wanted to get as much experience in everything as I possibly could, so I at least have enough arsenal in my tool belt in order to better myself. Scott is, he can, tears out windows, puts windows in, works on cars. He does all these things, and he's got knowledge in a lot of these things, but it's not what he does for a living. Right. But you know what? If something goes down in his house, who's the one? He's not picking up a phone. People are waking up no less than $200-300 for a phone call to come to your house and fix something nowadays. He's just like, well, let me get my tool belt. Let me, he does it himself. And, I admire that.
Bubble gum and duct tape.
Like, that's how I was raised. That's how I was raised. And I know that you run into a lot of people that don't know how to do these things because you always want to give your advice to it. I know that because you do that with me all the time. And I'm like, hey, listen, I've done this many times. I get it. Thanks. I know how to light a pilot light, Scott. We don't need to spend an hour and dissecting the pilot light. I got it.
Yeah, you got to start from the beginning.
What you want to do is turn the gas on, let that run for about 15
minutes.
Yeah, and
then light your bit.
Get out of the house and then light your bit.
Right. Put the foil ball in the microwave, turn it on.
The thing that you hit on there, which is really important, right? But we're on the blue marble for so long, right? Trying these things, right? Experimenting is like the quintessential, to me, quintessential in life. You have to try all these things so you know what you want to do. If you don't try it, you never know you're going to love it. You try it, right? You try it, you're doing it, and then you realize, no, not for me, right? Keep moving. That's why. Did it, liked it, didn't like it, keep moving. That way, it makes it more fun. And then you figure out, that's how eventually all of us find our
so I
calling.
tried doing this one thing. I did it. I'm happy with what I did out of it. It might not been to the nth degree, but I did it, and I could put that in my little log and say, "Hey, listen, I know how to do this, but only from here to here."
Or you did something, you realize
trying is important. Trying is important.
You try to fix something and be like, "Oh no, I'm going to call somebody."
Well, listen, we're going to try to get out of here.
On that bottom one,
this one here. Yep. All right, we're going to try to get out of here. We're over the hour. Come back at 3 in the know with Steph and Joe. Navigating changes. Actually, it rolls right into really what we're talking about here. Navigating changes. Special guest host Robert Clark on this one. So it'll be fun to have him in the studio. So we'll see you at 3. But thanks everybody for tuning in. We love you. We'll see you next Friday.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. We appreciate you. Have a great week, and remember, work hard, be nice to people, and be the change you want to see in this world. We appreciate you for tuning in, guys. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend.
Take care.
Okay. So, run it by me again. You're thinking of having a podcast, right? But maybe you don't know how to start a podcast, or maybe you don't know what platform to be on. I know. There's a lot. But maybe you also don't know what kind of budget you'll need, right? Okay. Well, how about this? 216 Creator Studios. Ring a bell? Okay. Well, here. There you can buy a pre-built show. Or, better yet, you could build your own show. Have all the creativity in the world. And the best part about that, it can be all done within your budget. So, no worries. How about this? Start here. Just go to 216creatorstudios.com. And I guarantee you, they will help you find your voice.